Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We have Ghost Recon Breakpoint on the chopping block, and we're going to be talking about the difficulty settings. Now, one thing about difficulty settings in a video game is you must respect the kind of video game that you're approaching in order for you to be able to understand its difficulty settings and why things are the way they are. So in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, the difficulty settings have a lot of options that you can use, but what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the tactical difficulty settings. There are the tactical difficulty settings that you can actually tweak, and then there are also enemy difficulty settings as well that you can, pretty much go for. Now, within the difficulty settings, you have a custom mode, which allows for you to be able to select any of the difficulty settings and modify them on the fly, just different parameters within them. So I started out playing on the max difficulty setting. I went ahead on my Xbox because I'm trying to play the game on all three platforms to kind of visualize where I prefer. And I think I found my sweet spot, but I'm not going to say that right here in this video. So I started out with the elite difficulty, system, and it gives you very limited options in order to make the game a very hardcore survival game. If you really want to punish yourself or you want to challenge yourself to the extreme, this is a difficulty setting that I feel like you're going to enjoy. Now, here's the thing. Because this is an open world game, there are struggles. If you're traversing around the world and you're in a place where you don't have a vehicle or you just want to run fast without running out of stamina, then this difficulty setting can get old really quick. I mean, look at all the world that this game comes with. And so I think that this difficulty setting really does, allow for a lot more enjoyability when you're in a close quarter combat or more controlled environment. So this building that my player is sitting right in front of, we have a mission here. And if we were to go in for this mission with the elite difficulty settings, it will shine a little bit. Now, here's another caveat. You see, some of us prefer some things even when we're playing this difficulty setting. This restriction of having just one main weapon, it doesn't necessarily feel realistic because sometimes you may need to carry multiple weapons, and this is where the customization comes in. So if I go for two weapons, that's also pretty cool, right? And so now I can pick up my, Scorpio, which is basically a marksman rifle, can hit long range shots. And that's something that you as a player, you want to have the option for. Because if you're going to be playing some kind of a ghost mode, or if you're kind of going to be playing some kind of stealth, you really don't want to be exposing yourself too much with your, DMRs and your assault rifles and all the others. And then you have the settings that, in my opinion, if you're going to actually enjoy, some of the aspects of this game, you really have to turn them off. And they're not even here in the tactical side. And so you have the injury risk pretty much always. Anything you do could just basically injure you very badly. And if the enemy damage is actually really important here, if they hit you, you're going to get severely injured and you have to find a way to heal yourself. But again, you have no the basic elite difficulty doesn't let you use your syringes to heal, which honestly, for people who've played different shooters, this is something that you will have to maybe get used to. Or in my case, I pretty much had to go to the point where I said, I don't know if this difficulty level really gives me enjoyability. So I went onto the veteran difficulty, which allows a little bit more healing and a little less risk of injury as well. And then has a partial health regeneration. On the elite difficulty, no health regen for you. You really have to be very careful. And so imagine having a serious injury and you're running around the open world, but you have no way to heal because you're limited on syringes, you're limited on bandage quality. And so these are things that really work in your own ability, in your own favor, or can work in your own demise, if I was to say that. And then you have your special abilities from your teammates. You see, these teammates are actually very strong. Your AI teammates really can make the game a cakewalk if you want them to. There's nothing wrong with that. I've seen here in the comments we've been discussing about the game, some people have said they turn off their AI teammates. They use only a limited number of them. I use all of them in my own playstyle. I prefer that. And they can really make this game a cakewalk, because if you really want to go ahead and say, and this is not even pertaining to sync shots. The sync shots are nice. I like them. But if it comes to the special abilities of them, one of my AI teammates has a scanning ability, and this can give me the tactical locations that I need. Now, if you know that ahead of time, that can make this veteran difficulty kind of a cakewalk, because you can make your way around and sneak around these enemy NPCs, and you can pretty much just tap them, and you've basically finished the mission. So that elite or veteran difficulty setting that you've already put in place doesn't necessarily seem to provide too much of a challenge, if you get what I mean. Now, we could also go to the point and say Ghost Recon Breakpoint is designed to have all of these aspects to it, like the high tech and all of that. Now, as a Division player or somebody who plays the Division, I can appreciate that. So for me, all of the tech that I can get my hands on really does work for me. I like all that stuff. Now, you also hear a lot of Ghost Recon players, say, ah, man, that's not necessarily something that should be in a Ghost game. And I understand, you want a hardcore experience, but then here's the fun part. You have the option to turn them off in your settings. And so this is what really brings this entire dynamic system into play and helps you understand that the difficulty settings for Ghost Recon is very contextual. It's not only player centered, it's also centered around the world. It's centered around the mission structure, and it's centered around very different scenarios that you as a player want to experience. And I hate to say it, they've designed the game in a way where you get to choose how you experience the game. And for some, that might not be the best approach ever. But for some, that might be the best thing that keeps them playing the game. So what in the world should we do with all of this? Like, why are devs constantly doing things like this? In some people's minds, they feel like it dilutes the game. In some people's minds, they feel like it doesn't really give the game the experience for everybody. Now, the thing is accessibility. One thing that video games do and do well is they try to appeal to as many people as possible. Ubisoft is actually one of them. Look, my AI is already scanning the building. I already know where people are. This is what I'm talking about, right? And Ubisoft wants to appeal to a large amount of people in order for them to be able to get many people to enjoy their game. So what they've done is they've created multiple parameters to be able to allow for as many people as possible to be able to gain the experience that they want in this game. And there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, if anything, I think everyone should see this as a sign of the company wanting to appeal to both people who are not necessarily willing to play the game in a hardcore sense and people who want to experience the game for all of its grueling suffering that it brings with it. So these are just the tactical difficulty settings that this game comes with. There are other settings that you could turn off or turn on that also can affect the tactical side of things, like drones. You could turn off the whole drone thing, and that would definitely provide for you a whole different experience if you wanted to. So I wanted to go ahead and highlight this in this video so that those who are playing the game, you can understand that, hey, this game is designed for a wide array of people and everybody can just play the game the way that they want. In some cases, some people may or may not agree with it. That's one thing, but some people may also agree with it. That's a whole different thing on its own. But that's pretty much the end of my video. I wanted to go ahead and just highlight this for, this particular discussion. I hope to talk to you guys very soon in other Ghost Recon Breakpoint videos. And if you have any questions or comments, or you have anything that, you feel like could be added to these videos, let me know in the comment section. If you enjoy the content, feel free to subscribe, hit like, and hopefully we'll talk very soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace out.